All right, it's crunch time here on The Jump. The first round of the Horse Challenge on ESPN took place on Sunday. Chauncey Billups, Mike Conley, Zach LaVine, and Allie Quigley all advanced. You can see the semifinals and championship matchups on Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. So, Richard, of those left standing, who is your favorite heading into the semis?
Oh, I'm going to go with Quigley. That, to me, is probably going to be a tough out for... Wait, who is she going against?
Is she against Zach LaVine? I don't know. We'll have to get our producer Danny to chime in my ear here.
She's going to win. That's it. That's my pick. I'm not even talking about who's going to make it in the finals. She's going to win the whole thing.
Well, I'm interested in Zach LaVine potentially being a slam dunk champion, a three-point champion, and a horse champion. How can I go against Mr. Big Shot? And he's got it rolling, and he doesn't have to play defense anymore on these guys. He can just shoot, so watch out for Chauncey.
I will say that Allie Quigley-Chris Paul matchup was awesome in the first round, so I'm going to give her some of my betting money as well. All right, on this date 4 years ago, the Warriors won their 73rd game of the 2016 regular season, which is, of course, an NBA record. They finished with only 9 losses, but hey, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't been paying any attention to the NBA for 5 years, they lost to Richard's Cavaliers in the most epic 7-game final series ever. So this leads us to a new segment on The Jump called What If? Richard Jefferson, how would the course of basketball history have changed if the Warriors, not your Cavs, would have won those finals?
Ooh, there's so much. I think there's the Kevin Durant decision. Obviously, Harrison Barnes, and you look at how that impacted, and then you don't know. I know we're gonna stick on this. Ultimately, I think that conversation between who would have been the best team of all time between the Jordan Bulls and that Warriors team, that would have been an amazing conversation, and it would have been a conversation that Steve Kerr would have loved to have, because he would have been a player on the Jordan team and then the coach of the Warriors team. So the only person that wins in that is Steve Kerr.
How far down the rabbit hole do you guys want to go here? Because if Durant doesn't go to Golden State, which he wouldn't have, we also wouldn't have had the Richard Jefferson dramatic retirement and unretirement, I think.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think that Durant's second choice was not Oklahoma City, that it was Boston. And think about how crazy that could have been if he went to Boston. And remember, Boston still had that #1 overall pick coming that was Brooklyn, and they probably don't make the trade with Philly in that case. And then for the Cavs, maybe Kyrie Irving asks for a trade a year earlier, and he gets traded, and the Cavs retrofit to try to win a title in the 3rd year with LeBron. We could go on and on for an hour on this. It's one of the most pivotal points in recent NBA history for a dozen different reasons.
I think it's fascinating, right? Because Russell Westbrook might not win MVP the following year. Kevin Durant, as you said, could have stayed in Oklahoma City, could have gone to Boston. If Kyrie had asked for that trade a year earlier, he wouldn't have gone to Boston, especially if they had had Kevin Durant. And I don't know, Brian, do you think, or Richard, do you think LeBron James would have left Cleveland for LA if he hadn't delivered a championship back to Cleveland already?
That's a tough one. I think for him, it was so important to win a championship in Cleveland. He could still possibly be there. But I believe that, again, you look at the injury in the first years with Kyrie and Kevin Love. I believe that ultimately, wherever the dominoes would have fallen, I think Cleveland would have won a championship over the course of those 4 years.
I would tend to agree, but we'll never know.
Yeah. We'll never
Brian,
know.
how much is that finals, when you say it's one of the most pivotal in NBA history? We're going to go back and play the what-if game in a couple places. Is this the biggest what-if in the time you've been covering the league?
Because the Durant transaction is one of the biggest transactions in NBA history, and because it was the biggest upset in NBA history, and because it's one of the biggest victories for LeBron in NBA history, it's the nexus of so much. It's amazing.
Yeah, no.
Thank you guys very much.
Agree.
I want to say the Bulls have made it official. Denver's Arturas Karnisovas is now in charge of basketball operations, and no more Gar Pax, guys. John Paxson now going to be an advisor. Gar Foreman no longer with the organization. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be here every day. Come hang out.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.